Hi everyone, Daisy here. I'm going to be doing a project for Drawing Fundamentals Level 2 or Advanced Art. We are going to do the Algerian Camel, and we're going to draw it, and then we're going to give it a very light watercolor rendering. So let's start. There's my paper right there, and going to do our basic drawing, which means I would like to start with the camel's eye, and this is nothing but the shading around the eye. If you've ever seen a camel, they have amazing eyelashes. Goodness, I mean, we can only hope for the same, I guess. But they're quite prominent. Here comes your ear, right there. After we've drawn the lid, we're going to make another line above the eye, which will be like a bone structure right there. And at this point, going to touch the midway on the ear and bring over the head line right about there. Going to flatten this out and bring it forward. The nose for your camel, I think I'd like to change my line just a little bit right about here. I want it to be a little bit better curved right there. And right under the eye, about here, this is where we see the mouth forming. There. And the other side would go to the other area. You can actually see the other side in this particular reference picture that I'm working with. The nostril, will draw the middle line of the nostril first, followed by the top, close, and also a lip on the bottom of the nose, right there. Goes outward. Comes in. The mouth has another line. Right there. I'm not making the different muzzles and all the rest of it for now. I'm just going to focus in on the drawing at this point. Behind the ear, your slant is going to be in this direction. So you let the back of your camel's head come downward. So how far down would you want to go for this thing? The size of the head. So from the top of the head, which is this part right here, to the bottom, which would be about here. Hold that measurement, that's count of 1, and bring it back down. This is where I would want to now start turning the line to go upward. Next, you're going to bring down, I'm not going to touch the mouth just yet. I'm going to draw a parallel line to create the proper contour for my camel's neck and body and all. And then I'm going to connect with a diagonal line to give it the right contour. Now, additionally, after doing this much, this is our base drawing. Don't need to do more than this for right now. We're going to create a muzzle. So the muzzle comes flat, drops down over the camel's mouth, right about here, and it wraps in from the other side, right there. 1. Coming down, right on past the eye. So as soon as you get past the lower lid of the eye, you want to stop. This is where you give it the cross section. So it goes to the back of its head, right about there. In order to draw things properly, you have to get them drawn completely. Don't stop your line right now, because sometimes it becomes hard to juggle. Oh, I know that there's something here, and I know that there's something there, right there. Now, you want to let this wrap around, sort of like this, so you have a curve around the back of the camel's head right there. There are going to be hairs, just like there's a mane on a horse's head. Even our camel friend here has hair on the back of its neck. So you want to keep those in mind. I want to get rid of this dominant line and keep on working. Coming down on the neck, the hair tends to turn one, and I'm drawing every single strand as I see it. This covers the hair that we have on the back of our camel's head. The muzzle is very decorative. It's got tassels attached to it. So you want to make sure you do a good job of it. If the hole of the tassel is right there, you want to create the loop, the head, the string, and then the tassel itself. So again, to repeat, this is your dot for the hole where the tassel is attached. I'm going to wrap it around its neck, give it a head, give it a tie, and let it kind of come down. So we're going to repeat our steps again. Tassel, and remember to make sure that it shows as if it's holding front and back. It's quite the sight to see, just looking at these beautiful animals and the way that things are done. They decorate them, they really keep them really, really well. They're camels. Second ear on the other side, and that's all you want to really work on at this point. I want you guys to get yourself some colors and just give it a wash down. So today we're going to use our watercolors, and I'm going to work with yellow ochre. Now, why yellow ochre? Because it's the base color to our camel. Whenever you look at any picture of an animal or a bird or even a building, you want to try to consider what is the base kind of color that is underlying the whole thing. Once you get that, you'll be fine. I'm going to use a slightly larger head on the brush, and I'm going to, if you can see my colors here, I want to work with giving it a wash effect all over. And what I will do at the same time, just bear with me here, I'm going to keep a little piece of a tissue paper here, and I'm going to sponge away some of the stuff that I don't need. So here we are. Take our yellow, and we're going to add it. And I'm not going to stop my hand over any part of my camel. I'm just going to go ahead and just wash it down. And what I want to wash it down on is I'll take this little guy, pull out the color from here, pull out a little bit of the color from the top and over the eye. I don't want those areas to get a prominent color of ochre on them, so I'm going to keep it very, very clean. And because ochre is like sort of your, what do you call it, underpainting color for most things that we like to paint, it's easy to kind of use it and just wash it away as well. Again, I'll take my paper and I'm going to kind of just pull away color wherever I think I don't need it. I'm going to pull it over the top of the eye, and I'm now going to use just a brush with water in it, and I am going to let it go into so logically speaking, the underside of his neck, which does not receive too much sunlight, should get more of the deeper hues of the neck versus the top side, which would get plenty of sunshine, given that these amazing creatures run all across the deserts, helping man carry their goods and everything across that rugged land. And yet there's so much that we want to learn from them. God, every creature on this world has its adaptations to surviving and everything. Here we go. That covers a one-tone wash all over our camel, and we're gently going to blend in areas, not make it too prominent that we left anything out. Going to our burnt umber. Where would we want it? We want to put our burnt umber right here on the bottom of the head, and I just want to wash it like a regular kind of a color. I took off extra paint on my towel, not in the water, so that I could control how much goes into my camel's head. And I can bring back in my ochre and make it more dominant now. Remember, the first layer that we painted was nothing more than just a wash effect. Very, very lightly. Going back in with another coat of ochre, and this time I'm going to mix my ochre with my brown on my palette right here, as you can see, and get me a slightly darker hue. More richer hue as well. So there's nothing wrong in creating a base tone I'm still working with my big brush, and you might be thinking, well, it's maybe time to switch to a smaller one. I like the fact that I can get a spread on a certain area the way that I would like to see it. Sometimes it's not, I don't get it as well with a smaller brush, and I just want to wash down this entire area really well to where it feels and looks the way that I would like it to look. Everything that I'm applying is based off of the way that I see all the shadows coming through on my image. And I wouldn't do more than this much. So for right now, I'm going to stop this. Why? Because, and if you are working on this picture alongside me or just watching it for right now, you should stop at this point. What you would want to do is give it time to kind of just saturate. One more place I'd like to get in before I call it a day, sorry folks, is right here. And of course, and I don't want to forget, we want to get our muzzle done. So the muzzle is in black, and right now what we'll do is because tomorrow I want to come back into this picture with using some colored pencils to give the beautiful tassels a lot of detail work. I know kids want to learn about how to paint with watercolors, and that's all fine. There is nothing wrong in applying different medias to help you get to a level that you like. Nothing wrong at all. I enjoy putting my colored pencils down alongside my watercolors to help me achieve definition. Smaller brush because this area is way smaller and I want to be able to control it, and I'm just asking them wanting to get down base colors. So because I know that the muzzle is a black piece of fabric around the camel's face, I can use the black and I can apply it just as a tint, and then I'll reinforce it with my colored pencils when I get to it in part 2. But I want to give it the opportunity to dry properly before I apply anything else to it. Just darken up the eye. And a little bit more on the black on the footing here. And there you will see I'm very close to calling it a day. Till whenever you do a tiny line that is very, very fine, don't hold your brush like this. Turn it literally vertically, so only the tip comes into contact with your paper. Just soften the lines whenever we apply, whether graphite or in watercolor, based on what you're looking to achieve. Artists will tell you to soften your line a little bit. So you see the first place where you put the paint down as being the darkest, but then around it, it softens up to where it's easy to work with. We are going to call this a day right about here now. And this is part 1 of our Algerian camel, and we are going to get into a lot of details tomorrow. So look forward to meeting you back here soon. Bye now.